In this video I'm going to try and show you how I produce my stencils for my Maker's Mark. I use light sensitive stencils, and what these have got to be exposed to an ultraviolet source. This is my ultraviolet source. It was it's homemade, made by my friend actually, John Wellings. And then inside are simply two ultraviolet tubes. You can buy these tubes, and then literally all you do is this. There's my stencil, which is printed on sort of like tracing paper, I suppose. So you would print your design onto tracing paper, then you cut your stencil out, place the design on the tracing paper on the glass first of all, and on top of that you would then place your stencil material, which is the ultraviolet film. Close the lid down and expose it to ultraviolet light for a set period of time. Now it all depends on how powerful the lamps are, how much exposure you need for your stencil to come out right. So I can't give you any sort of timings. Well, I can say for timings for me, for this particular unit, it's 110 seconds. But if you make your own unit, it might have different bulbs in, and you'll have to just experiment until you get the right exposure settings. Anyway, I've got to do it in a dimly lit environment, because as you can see there, I don't know if it says it, extremely important, light sensitive stencils enclosed. So I've got to do this under dark or dim conditions. I'm not sure how well the camera will pick it up, but anyway, I'll see what happens, and hopefully you'll get some idea of how I do it. Well, there's the stencil. There, it's a film sandwiched between two sort of layers of plastic, and inside in it, which you peel off after you've exposed. So literally, I'm just going to line my stencil, line it up. Oops, that's about right. Put the foam on, which gives it an even pressure. And then I'm going to close the lid. And turn the unit on, and then wait for 110 seconds. We're coming up to 100 seconds now. I was going to let you just have a look at the sort of light that it is. It's a sort of a funny, there, that's the infrared sort of light colour. Anyway, it's had its time now. Turn the light off, and then I've just got to let the stencil rest now for about 30 to 40 seconds. And whilst that's resting, I'll just go and prepare the developing solution. This is the solution I use, called Durafilm Developer. I'll put a link down below to the suppliers of all this, so if anyone wants to get any, you know where to go. It's like water, but obviously it's not water. So I squirt some into a saucer. As I say, it's always best to do it in a dimly lit or a red light dark room sort of environment, really. So now I'm just going to remove my stencil. It's a little fiddly because it's got film on either side. Remove the stencil. And I know this film is very difficult to remove. It's a nightmare. Yeah, you can see it peeling. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's one side peeled off. And there's another piece on the other side which is even more fiddly to remove because it's a bit thinner now. There it goes. It's like, it forms like a static and it sticks to your fingers. Right, so now I'm just going to place my stencil into the solution, get myself a Q-tip, and just gently massage the stencil. Leave it to soak. I doubt the camera's picking much up at the moment because it is quite dim. It takes a little while. I can see the image beginning to form now. I'll bring it a bit closer to the camera. You can just see, hopefully you can just see the image beginning to come out now. And it's just a matter of continuing with that process and turning it over and cleaning the other side for a few minutes, and then rinse the stencil under some lukewarm water, so it feels quite slimy, and you sort of remove all the slime. Then you re-expose the stencil again to ultraviolet, which hardens the stencil, and then you have a durable stencil which I find lasts for about 8 to 10 knives. But in the packet I have enough stencil material rather to make maybe 20 stencils. So, and it's not expensive, and I find it's a good solution to how I put the maker's mark on my knives. I don't know if you can see it now, but the stencils sort of clearly see, well, I can clearly see my logo in the stencil now. So I'm now going to go and rinse it, and then harden the stencil, and then use it. Got a few knives I want to etch. As I say, if there's anyone, I get asked a lot of questions by people wanting to know how to put a maker's mark on, so hope this has helped, and so I'll put a link to the company that I use in the description box. Well, there's the stencil. Hopefully the camera's picking it out. Yeah, I think it is. I'm just waiting for it to dry now. When it's dry, I'll re-expose it again to harden it, and then it's ready for use.